Oh, Chris, you were at the Merseyside Mini Derby at the weekend, and one player that stood out for Everton was Stanley Mills. Now, can you tell us a little bit about his performance on the day?
Yeah, and actually, Stanley Mills got the goal for Everton. In truth, Everton should have been out of sight. They missed a lot of good chances. Stanley himself had a couple of decent ones himself, but and ended up being pegged back there after the sending off. Finished 1-1, but he was the standout player for Everton in that particular game, and he's been like that all season. Really, I think that was his 13th goal of the season. Not even playing up front. He was playing in a wide right position and up and down the flank there. And Paul Tate pointed out to me afterwards, it wasn't even on his supposed stronger foot. It was a delicate chip with his left over the keeper, and he looks like he's got that real poacher's instinct.
There does seem to be like a little bit of a buzz around him. Have you seen much of him this season?
To be honest, I've not seen a great deal. I mean, Joe Thomas saw him pre-season when he played in America. He's had little bits and pieces in the first team, but for me, the thing that he offers, maybe whether he has the quality to be a first team regular or not, I'm not too sure. He's not a kid now. I think he's nearly 19, and it's just that eye for a goal, and that can be so valuable in football. I mean, we mentioned Tim Cahill for a long time. That made him such an important player at Everton. He probably wasn't the most world class midfielder in the world, wasn't bossing things in the middle of the park, but just because he always had that knack of a goal popping up at important moments, and that's just what Everton's first team need at the moment. Is so chronically short of goals and of natural goal scorers in there. You just wanted a bit of an unknown quantity like Mills. If he was to step up, he would just possibly give them something extra in after watching a very tight running for the end of the season.
Yeah, you mentioned that he's got an eye for goal there, and obviously
Yeah.
Everton have really struggled in front of goal. I think it's 24 in the league this season, the lowest amount
Mhm.
in the football
Yeah.
pyramid in England. Do you think that obviously he was on the bench against Fulham, but
Yeah.
do you think that Sean Dyche might look to him to maybe come off the bench and provide a little bit of energy, a little bit of hustle, and as you say, something a bit unknown?
Yes, I certainly think that there could be worse options. Deitch has been rather reticent to use his bench too much. He seems to like the people who he feels he can trust. And there have been young kids he's used when it was at Burnley. Of course, Dwight McNeil, who scored for Everton at the weekend, was one who came through under Deitch at Burnley, gave him his debut at a young age. So I'm not too sure just what Sean Deitch is thinking on this, but from a lot of people who have seen Stanley Mills, Michael Ball, the Echo columnist who came into the Everton side himself as a young lad, scored as a 17-year-old, thinks he's worth a go. This team, which is chronically lacking in goals, and obviously Dominic Calvert-Lewin's been out for since Deitch's first game, and there's only just seemingly knocking on the door again. What remains to be seen, just as and when he'll return. Yeah, I think he's worth a goal, even if it's like coming off the bench last few minutes of a game, if Everton are chasing a game. I mean, probably would like to have seen him against Fulham at the weekend there. I mean, he couldn't have done much worse. It was a real sort of flat atmosphere and disappointing finish for Everton. So you'd think, at least bringing on an enthusiastic youngster like that might just give him the crowd that extra push.
And obviously, there's like a gamble with young players. Like on one
Mhm.
hand, as you were saying before, the unknown quantities, especially with opposition players, opposition management. But on the other hand, there's the risk of the pressure swallowing them up a little bit.
Yeah,
And obviously, you've seen Everton a lot this season. You've been to Goodison
yeah.
Park a lot this season. Like in your opinion, do you think it's the right environment to be bringing in a young player, or is it the perfect kind of
Mm.
test to see if a young
Yeah.
player has got what it takes to play at this level?
Yeah, I don't know Stanley incredibly well, but he doesn't strike me as a shrinking violet, as a sort of player who would who wouldn't thrive in an atmosphere or would go missing. He's a strong upbringing. Obviously, his father Danny Mills was a Premier League footballer, so he's got that within the family. He knows what it's all about. It's not something that's come alien to him. He's probably grown up with that all his life. So I think he's the type of character I would imagine who would thrive on that. He can operate in a number of positions as well, which is interesting. I mean, a lot of the time in the academy sides, he was playing centre mid. I saw him was playing right wing, and he's even played at right back on a couple of occasions. He's been involved with the first team are more of a wing back, I suppose, attack minded. So yeah, he seems to possess that both that enthusiasm and character. You're thinking he would do well, because unfortunately, it's been some of Everton's senior pros who possibly gone missing, or you can question their character on a number of occasions. Perhaps a young lad who's fearless and has got nothing to lose might be just what they need.